Because the plan was I was gonna, as soon as she got back, or we got back, I was gonna take her to this soul food restaurant down in New Brunswick. And what I did was she had a box of hearts. Well, when we went to Ada's party, or when we went dating, when we started dating, I gave her this bracelet with a pendant on it. And when we went to Ada's party in West New York, we were dancing and she lost it. She was struggling. I lost this thing. And I'm sitting there like, oh. But from the time she told me, I was like, I'm gonna get another one and I'm gonna hook it up. So I went and I got the pendant and I put I love you on it and May 29th on it. And I put it in these boxes. So when you keep opening it, the boxes keep getting smaller and smaller. So she ended up not going to the track meet. So what we did is we hung out all day. We had Spain and candy. We cooked breakfast. We had breakfast here. Yeah, Spain and candy. Yeah. So we ate breakfast and we watched cartoons because it's something we've been talking about wanting to do for a long time. Just watch cartoons and eat breakfast. And so we did that. And then we watched Paycheck. Then we watched The Last Samurai.
There you go. I just got that movie.
And then I went to Justin's house and got ready. But I was like, I don't want to go far. I just want to be right, in the area, get ready, pick her up. So I went over to Justin's, got ready. Then I picked her up and we went and watched Shrek. So we watched Shrek, and this time I just want to ask this girl, can we just get, I said we still got to go to the restaurant. So we go to the restaurant. Now 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks before, I was like, all right, I want to do something real crazy to ask her. And we got this ongoing joke that I'm tall, black, and I got dreads. So I'm always getting pulled over by the police. Yes, Dave, it's a joke. But the joke is connected to the fact that I'm always getting pulled over by police. You know how that goes. Anyway, so I call a good friend of mine, and her husband is a police officer in Clifton. But we were thinking, I don't want to go all the way up there because it's just too much traveling. So I'm like, oh, let me call Carlos Rodriguez. So I call Carlos. He's like, I don't know. I got to talk. I don't know how that's going to work out. I'm like, man. So I'm like, this is craziness. So, I know Wanda's a police officer too. So I speak to Wanda. And she's like, I didn't know that her and Carlos worked together. And I was telling her that Carlos was going to talk to the sergeant. She was like, oh, she's going to talk to Sergeant Russell? That she do that. She's mad cool. She can do that. She can be down. So I called Carlos. Carlos was like, yeah, I just spoke to the sergeant. I was like, well, let me speak to her. He gave me her number. I called. I said, this is the plan. Da, 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 da. She was like, well, this is what, you might want to do to make it, cool. So I'm like, okay. So I call her, and we're talking. I'm like, okay, now, what happens is we're going to be at the restaurant, the Delta. She said, oh, that restaurant on such and such street. I was like, correct. But she knew exactly where everything was. I was like, when I get the car out of valet, I'm going to pull out. I'm going to go this way, and I want you to pull me over.
Oh,
I want you to pull me over. And when you pull me over, I want you to give me a really hard time and give me a ticket. But this is what happened. So she's like, okay, cool, you may want to do this, da, da, da. So we set it all up. I give her, at the end of our meal today, I give her the boxes. Now, I've just given that to make her squirm, I want to make her think this is the time. So I said, this is something I've been wanting to give her for a long time. So she starts opening up all the boxes. She's really composed. I'm surprised. I'm like, oh, she got it together. She pulls it, she's pulling it back, she opens it up, and she sees it's the pendant. She's like, that is so sweet because I was struggling. But she at this time like, this better be the ring. And I'm sitting there like, cool. So I say, yo, I gotta go to the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom and I call her. And I go like, this is where we're at. I'm about to leave right now. This is the car, year, license plate, da-da-da. It's MFJ. I was like, she's like, I'm out there, I'm there. But on our way over to the restaurant, I tell Ali, I'm like, yo, I forgot to tell you yesterday that on my way over to Sammy's house, I got pulled over for speeding. And I was like, but the cop let me in. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, I was just really grateful. Like, I can't argue. I'm putting on the whole story. And she's like, yeah, babe, you can't argue with the police. All that. It's just going on and on. I'm like, yeah, you can't. And then what I did is I left my wallet here. And I said, this was the plan B, if the plan B went into effect. You don't have to go there now, but this is the plan B. So I left my wallet here, but I put my license behind my registration and everything. So that when I pulled it out, she wouldn't see the license, but I told her I forgot my license. But we don't got time to go back and get it.
So you had your wallet.
I said, yeah, I forgot my wallet there at the house. So what I did when I spoke to her, I was like, I already told her I don't have my license, so that's what you could give me a ticket for not having my license. But I really had the license on me when I gave everything to her.
Good.
And I gave her a Sharpie pen.
More lies.
To write. So when she comes over, she's like, you know, license. I said, I don't have my license. She's like, you don't have your license?
So wait.
Did you get pulled over?
Yeah, so we come out. So we come out, I get the car, we're hugging. She's like, what a nice pen. I'm like, ooh, that's real cool. It's really nice. So we get into the car, and I'm driving real slow because I'm like, all right, where is she at? And I'm like pulling around the roundabout. I'm like, okay, where is she? And then when we get out to the junction, I see her over there. So I just like, I said real soft, I was like, oh, look at the po-po. And then I go right. And then the lights come on. And I'm sitting there like, I'm like, oh, here we go. I'm like, here we go. And this Ali, it's gonna be all right, babe. It's gonna be all right. She's like, let's pray that, wait, she's coming, not right now. So she comes over. And she goes, license and registration? And I go, you know what, officer, I don't got my license. She's like, you don't have your license? She's like, she goes, you're up to date? And she winks at me. I'm like, yeah. And then she walks back to the car. She's sitting there, and I'm sitting in the car like, what's taking her so long? Like, and I said, here we go again. I said, there go the 3 strikes, babe. It's the tall, black, and dreads. And she's like, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be all right. I'm like, man, I hope we get off. I was like, God, please let us get off. Let me get off. And she's like, you know, it's gonna be all right. So then, you know, I'm sitting there in the car just struggling, like I'm like, oh. And she comes over and she goes, okay, you know, you gotta make, I'm like, she's like, you gotta ask her why she pulled you over. I'm like, I don't know, I didn't do nothing. You know, I put on she comes over, she goes, you know, I'm giving you a ticket for not putting on your blinker. But I did put on my blinker. And I'm sitting there like,
I'm like, I remember putting this.
So she goes, you didn't put your seat. When you're in this kind of neighborhood, you gotta put on your blinker. And then she goes, and I'm sitting there like, I look over at Ali, I'm like, and I look back over, and she's like, but I gotta give you a ticket for not having a license, because you gotta have all your stuff. So she gives me the ticket, and I'm sitting there, I see, she wrote, will you marry me, with the Sharpie pen on there. So I just take the ticket, I'm like, will you believe this? I like, look at this ticket.
I took the tickets.
And she like want to see what the ticket is. So she like snatches the ticket and she looks at it because it was upside down, and she turns it and she's like,
Gotcha.
of course. I go, hold on. And I went to the back. I went to the trunk, pulled out the ring. And the officer, she's like, you don't got the ring on? He's like, yeah, it's in the trunk. She's like, oh, good. So I come around, and Ralph is across the street videotaping the whole thing.
Oh, nice. We should play it.
I had Ralph, you know, pick us up in the Lexus and chauffeur us down here. So he's sitting there, like, as soon as we pull out, I see Ralph there, and I see the cop there. I'm like, okay, we good. So as, you know, I like get out, and I kneel down by the car door. I'm like, I just want you to be my wife. She goes, yes. And then, of course, I started trembling. I said, now I'm trembling. When I put the pendant on and everything, I'm like all calm. I said, hopefully I won't shake like I did when I asked you to be my girlfriend. And she's like, you're going to do all right. And I put it on, and I'm putting on that ring. I'm like, and then she looks, and I just scream. I'm like, whoa! She said yes. And Rob at the camera, he comes up to Ali. He's like, so, what do you think?
No words.
So, you know, that was the story. But last weekend, you know, I'm like telling her, that, hey, you know,
Arms are gonna break.
like, you know, she's like going out tracking. She
Carlos.
calls me in the morning.
Carlos,
She's like, oh, I forgot my card. I need you to bring me lunch. But I couldn't bring lunch because I went down to Delaware to talk to her mom, you know, to ask her mom for a blessing. And she called, I'm like, oh boy, what am I gonna tell her? So I'm like, I call my mom, I'm like, Mom, if she asks you, tell her that I went, you know, to go see Uncle Parker. So I'm like, tell her all the things.
So I tried to help him. I said, go see him.
Her mom had no idea that I was coming down there. Because we had to keep it from her because she tells Ali everything.
Oh, no.
Tomorrow he will be coming down to Delaware this Saturday. So we had to keep it from her. You know, so I spoke to her mom, and her dad. And she's asking me, oh, what's going on? I'm like, yeah, you know, I woke up really late, so I can't bring you lunch. I got to go see my uncle. I'll just see you tonight. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Ooh, maybe it's the way that you say thanks when I open the door for you. Oh, maybe it's the way that you turn all my dark skies blue. Oh, maybe it's the way that you smile when I bring you flowers. Oh, maybe it's the way that we talk on the phone for hours. But there's one thing I know, is that I love you. But there's one thing I know, is that I love you. Oh, maybe it's the way that you hold me down. And baby, when times get rough, you were always around. Ooh, baby, I'm so grateful for you and to have you in my life. And I don't want nothing else but for you to be my wife. And there's one thing I know, is that I love you. But there's one thing I know, is that I love you. It must have took God a long time to make someone as sweet as you. And I'm so grateful for you and in love with all the things you do. You mean the world to me and you can have my heart. I said the diamonds on your hand, I'll always be your man, and with God we'll never part. But there's one thing I know, is that I love you. Oh, but there's one thing I know, is that I love you. Yeah, there's one thing I know, is that I love you. Yeah, but there's one thing I